Greetings, I'm Barrett and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. Today we're going to be doing a quick unboxing of the Marvel Dice Throne missions and the characters that come along with it. This right here is my crowdfunding pledge. I did the all-in pledge, including all of the cool miniatures and everything that came with the game that you could possibly get. I haven't played much Dice Throne. I did try the Adventures series once. I enjoyed that, but I didn't really get into it too much. I'm excited for this one because these are going to be missions that are very Marvel-based. I'm a huge Marvel fan. I really enjoy that IP. We're going to dig into not only the missions and the characters, but we're going to do all the other stuff that came with the all-in pledge. Like we have the Deadpool box. We have to help get him out of this box. We also have a, what do you call these? We call these dice catcher thingers. Let's try tray. Dice tray. We're going to go with dice tray. We get one of those. We also have the acrylic tokens for not only the X-Men heroes, but we have them for the regular Marvel heroes as well. And I do have a copy of Marvel Dice Throne, so I do have that copy as well. So those are going to be able to work with that game. It's an upgrade for it, so I'm pretty excited to put those in there. And then we have the acrylic ones for the missions. And it just keeps going. We've got card sleeves for all of the different characters. We have card sleeves for our allies, which you'll see inside of the missions box. And then we have a couple extra things. We have the promo set for the, these are going to be missions. It's going to include 6 ally cards. Here's some promo cards that are going to have randomizer cards, main phase cards, mythic cards, and we're going to even know how to use these cards, which is kind of funny. Then on top of that, they did some balancing. There's a Marvel Dice Throne balance kit. So for Miles Morales, I think, and also for Thor, it rebalances these characters a little bit for the game. And to top it all off, we have the sculpts for not only the X-Men, but also for the original Marvel Dice Throne. So we're going to dig into all of this content, and if you're excited to see it, then I need you to meet me at the table.
High class roller. Find yourself on top of a hill. You buy yourself a first class bungalow.
We're going to start with the actual characters for this game. We're going to take it off. Now, of course, there's no surprise. The characters you're going to see in there are the ones that are on the box. Those are all the ones. There are 6. This is very similar, and if not exactly the same as the original Marvel Dice Throne. That also came with 6 characters that you can play with as well, but we're not unboxing that. That's been out for a while. If you're interested in seeing some of that content, I'm sorry I don't have that on my channel. Also, if you're interested in seeing a playthrough of this game, please go check out Derek over at Canje Studios. He and Steve from the Co-op Guild did a playthrough together on this game. Also, Dani did one as well as Wolverine, so you can go check that one out as well and put a link to those in the description of the video. So she did Wolverine, Steve did Iceman, and Derek did Storm. Derek did Storm. I don't know which one that is. There one. That's one right here. So those are the ones that they did. I'm planning to do a playthrough of this. If there's a certain character you're interested in seeing, please let me know. I'm going to tell you right now, this is one we're going to be playing because Rogue is my favorite superhero of all time, because her power is your power and she can take more than one, which is absolutely awesome. That's I think if I remember right, that's a line from X-Men Evolution, which is a really cool cartoon series if you haven't seen it. So anyway, we're going to dig through all these really quick and kind of take a look at each of these. If you haven't played Dice Throne before, it's a really cool game. It can be played cooperatively because of the adventure system and the missions, or it can be played competitively where you're going to try to take out the other character. Before we dig into each of these characters, I am going to take a look at this. These are all the cardboard punch-outs for the characters in this box, and it does have all of the character standees as well that you're going to use in the admissions set if you're interested in playing that. When you play competitively, I don't think you need the miniatures. You're just fighting against each other rolling dice. This is a very Yahtzee-style system in a way. There's also other ways. You're rolling your dice to form patterns to be able to attack your enemy. So you'll see kind of a little bit about that when we start looking through the characters. These are all the different tokens that are going to be used for those characters in this box. Of course, I won't be using these tokens because we have the acrylic tokens that are the upgrades for all the X-Men heroes. So all the ones you see in here are going to be found in this bag right here. I'm not really sure how many I'm going to be able to show out of this bag. but there are quite a bit. Oh, look, it even came with a Ziploc bag. That'd have been good to know before I actually ripped it to pieces, but that's okay. I can get other bags. I've got a good board gamer has a ton of bags in the back area where he comes from. These are all the different tokens. They are falling out of my hand, but they're really nice acrylic tokens that we're going to be using when we play the game. From what I understand, the Marvel X-Men Dice Throne hasn't changed from the Marvel X-Men Dice Throne game has not changed from the Dice Throne Marvel game. All the rules for that are the same for this one. Of course, any outliers is going to be based on their characters. So the first one we're going to take a look at is Wolverine. Every character is going to have a self-sustaining contraption here that can hold everything you need, including all of those tokens that you saw earlier. And they all have a player board. These player boards, like I said, are going to show you the different symbols and different patterns you need in order to activate the powers that this character can have. For example, if you roll these symbols on the dice, the more of them you get, the more damage you're going to be able to do. There's different types of damage. There's blockable damage and there's unblockable damage. And I don't think that's the actual word for it. I apologize, but that's kind of the gist of how that works. Also, it says here 3 of a kind, so you get to heal. Wolverine, of course, you know his healing factor is able to heal when as he gets hurt. So he does have. You're going to see a lot of that on there. Every character in this game is has a very strong tie to its Marvel counterpart, which I think is pretty cool. As you can tell, he's got like his Berserker Rage. But now, on top of not only rolling the same kind of dice, you're also going to have different symbols on these dice where you're going to want to try to match up. And you can use these different powers against the AI opponents that are going to be found in the missions, or you can use them, of course, you're playing against a friend, you're going to be doing damage to them. This down here is going to be a defense that you can use. If they actually attack you with blockable damage, you would roll your vengeance and you would deal with whatever happens. You get to roll 3 dice. You deal damage equal to the amount of claws, and on any of these symbols here, you get to gain rage. And rage is his thing that he is going to keep piling up on top of and eventually be able to use it to unleash it on some of his abilities here. So that's the Wolverine. The backside is just kind of a neat little thing. There is a sheet for every one of the characters, which gives you exactly how this character functions. So when it says gain rage, it tells you what those rage tokens are going to be able to do. It also shows you the probability of what you're going to be able to gain on the dice. And not only are you going for symbols, but some things are going to be going for numbers, such as small straights and large straights. You're going to be looking for those as well. Then we have an alpha here. This is also something that you're going to gain during the game based on what you may roll, and then you're going to be able to know what it is with these. There is a stack limit, so the most that rage he can gain is 3, and then you'll want to start using it, otherwise you're not going to be able to gain any more. On the backside, it does have some rules clarifications, kind of FAQ for these. It gives you a complexity of the character. He is a 2, and it gives a little cool thing about each one of these characters, which if you don't know who the character is, you can read a little blurb about who they are and kind of where they came from when it comes to being an X-Men. Each character does come with 6 custom dice for themselves. They're going to be slotted in right here. They have a combat points. Combat points are going to be allowing you to pay for certain cards that you're going to be able to play out onto your characters, onto the board, or onto your characters, or even onto give you bonuses during the game. We'll look at some of those cards in just a second. You do have a health dial. Of course, when this drops to 0, your guy is KO'd. And these dice are when you play against somebody, you're each going to have the same amount. But when you play the dice throwing X-Men missions, it may be a little bit different. The Marvel missions, it might tell you different things for that based on what it is. And of course, the enemy will also have a dial when you're playing in the missions. Now, I know I'm going kind of slow through Wolverine, but as we go through some of these other ones, I might not go into as in depth for each of the characters. Every character does get a turn order card. This is the turn order of the game. You're going to upkeep, you're going to gain income, which is where you're going to draw cards and gain combat points. Then, of course, there's a main phase. This is where you can play abilities and cards, which would be any of the blue cards. You can play any of these blue cards during that phase. So I could play Intimidate. I could play something like Get Out of Here, Vegas. What status effect is this? You can play any of those kind of cards. But of course, they are going to potentially cost you combat points. This one's going to cost you 2. This one would cost you 1 combat point. You can also play out these during the main phase. These are going to upgrade certain areas of this board and potentially give them new things they could do or make the thing more powerful. For example, I could upgrade Severe Threat to Severe Threat 2, which deals 7 damage and roll 5 dice, where this one is deals 7 damage and roll 3 dice. So that's upgrading this power, and you place it onto your card to remember that that power is upgraded. And then whenever you get this particular thing, it's going to do the better thing, which is pretty awesome. I think that's pretty awesome. There are also red cards. These red cards can be played at any time, absolutely any time, from what I understand. The orange cards, though, are going to be played only during the roll phase, which is the next phase of this. You're going to do the offensive roll phase. You're going to targeting roll phase and the defensive roll phase. So once you roll all your dice, you can decide after everything's played, because of course, remember, these red cards can be played. You could remove a status effect token. I could draw 2 cards. The orange ones are going to be played on your, while you're playing your card, rolling your dice. You can choose up to a teammate to re-roll 2 dice. You could change the value of 2 dice. Now, I could play these on my opponent as well, which is kind of cool. So these, once you've decided that your dice are set, everything's done, then that's when you would go to the targeting roll phase, where if more than 2 players, you can determine what target you're going after. At that point, then that target would do a defense roll based on your damage you did. Then you would go back to another main phase. So say you kept your points in case you might want to manipulate your dice. Now might be a time you could play some of these other blue cards to be able to do something cool. And then you discard and draw back up, and then the next player goes. It's pretty quick to go as the game goes, as the game moves. It moves along pretty quick. So every one of these characters comes with a pack of stuff just like this. And they all come with their own tokens, and they all come with their own ways of playing. Here's Storm. We're going to quickly take a look at the rest of these. I'm not probably even going to open the cards. You're going to see, because all the cards they do have cards for these characters, but they also have some universal cards as well. So here's Storm's board. It looks really cool. She's going to be gaining Tempest, maybe? Let's see what her little dealie is here. Everybody has like a little thing. She's going to be gaining lightning, tornadoes, and wind shears. Wow, that makes total sense. She's got control of the weather, right? So she'd be able to gain these lightning components. She can stack tornado tokens and do wind shears, which is a positive effect. This is a companion, so they do tell you kind of what these things can do for you. Then, of course, I forgot to mention, if you don't get any of these, but you get all 6s across the board, you can do your ultimate, which is going to do a lot of damage. Look at this. Gain 2 tornadoes and wind shear and deal 12 damage. If it's charged, you get 2 additional tornadoes and additional 2 damage. Now, to charge it up, I believe you need the lightning. The lightning can give these abilities that you're rolling on the charged effect. So Storm is pretty cool. And like I said, if you want to see Storm in action, Derek over at Canje Studios did play with that. Here is the dice she has. Of course, the same thing, the health token, the combat points, and we also have the cards for her as well. And like I said, each one kind of has their own set of cards, but there are some universal ones in there as well. Let's see here. She has a complexity of 4, so she's a little more complex, but it also, and of course you have the bio for this. And I love the fact that they put rules clarifications into this. So if you have any questions, most likely it's answered in that particular rule set. Let's put this one back and go on to Psylocke, who is also super cool. This is another character I'd like to play. Psylocke is pretty awesome. She has a lot of, I believe it's like kinetic, she has those like kinetic knives and things like that. Here's her player board. It looks super neat. Look at this. Oh, I love that dagger coming out. All right. I choose to stand between the world and those who threaten it. Love it. That's absolutely amazing. So here's her thing. She's got manifest die. She can paralyze. She has agility. She has infiltration. So all these little things you can gain through this character as you're rolling through the dice. This may like gain and infiltrate. If you do this one, you can inflict paralyze. This one you get to have an agility token added to it. She is a 3 complexity. Here's her little things, and she has her dice here. Now notice hers is different from Wolverine's. Remember, he had 3 of the same type. She has 2, 2, 1, and 1. So she has a lot different variety of dice that she can roll as she plays through this, which is pretty cool. And she even has an extra die in here as well that is called the manifest die. It's a special die that as you gain it, you're able to use it for some of the other things. Once it has all the different symbols on it, it just gives you an extra chance at rolling something cool from what it looks like. I could be wrong. I have not played her and haven't looked into her yet. So we'll have to check her out. Maybe that could be one that I get to try out, depending on what people say in the comment section. Of course, once people tell me what they're interested in the comment section, I will go to our Patreon and let them vote for that based on what everybody here is interested in seeing. And they're going to help choose who we get to play with. That is what some of my Patreon supporters get to do. And if you're interested in joining the Patreon, please check out the link in the description. You get to not only help us decide who we play with sometimes, but you also can see all of the playthrough videos that Colin and I do, usually a day or two ahead of time without commercial interruptions. Here is Iceman. Iceman is who Steve played over at the Co-op Guild. So if you're interested in seeing this character played out, please go check it out. Here's Iceman's card here. He is also a 4 in complexity. He's got these Dice Cube Ice Shards Glide, and he's got a glide path. Oh, that's right. As you play through this guy, he's going to have the ability to, if he gets the glide path, he can not only do this, but he can glide down and do this one as well. If I remember right, he's able to kind of do some extra things going forward. He can put dice into the freezer, I think they call it, or maybe the ice cube or something. No, I think it's called the freezer, where he can place these things. Oh yeah, here it is, the freezer. He's able to put cards into here and store up to 5 of these, and if you get 5 ice shards, you can get the glide. So he has that ability going on. He is a 4 complexity, like I said earlier, but his dice, he has 3 of these, 2 of those, and 1 of those, and of course they're numbered 1 through 6. So again, Iceman, really quick, showing all these off. That's Iceman. We'll see. Cyclops, here's the leader of the X-Men, at least in some of the comics. Here's Cyclops. He's got his, I'm sure, Optic Blast here. I'm sure that's going to be, yep, there it is, Optic Blast. He's going to be able to shoot somebody real good with that. He's got hand-to-hand. That's kind of interesting. Teamwork, never back down. He's a leader among X-Men, which is pretty cool. He is a 4 complexity character as well. His Optic Blast is kind of his power. He's got his fist pouch and blast pouch. That's interesting. He has support where he can stack those. He's got his battle plans, and he's got focus fire. Remember, being a leader, he can probably help people become better in the attacks that they do. But I could be wrong. We'll have to see how. I'll have to look a little bit more in depth on him. Now we're going to come to my favorite X-Men and favorite superhero of all time, and that is Rogue. Rogue is awesome. Let's see what she can do. Hopefully some really cool stuff here. She's got, let's see here, Brawl, Sass, Leech, which is her main power. Absorption, she's got her Absorption, Influence, Duplicate. I'd be interested to see how they're going to do her character. I heard y'all was in a heap of trouble, and I'm here to clean up the mess. Sounds awesome. She can fly, of course, gaining that from Miss Marvel because she held on too long. She is a 3 complexity character, probably right up my alley. She's got Influence, Iconic Energy, and she can go skyward. She, of course, can fly. She's got Touch, Soar, and Ion. Cool. All right, that's her. That's the cool looking character. Again, this is one I will be playing with. And when I do a playthrough of this, I will be using 2 characters. So again, let me know if you're interested in seeing. Gambit, which in case you don't know, is at some point these two have had feelings together in certain comics iterations and cartoons. So we have Gambit. I'm running out of place to put them on here, so I just have to put them to the side. Gambit is able to charge up different, he charges up his cards normally, but he can charge, from what I understand, he can really charge up anything and make it a weapon. And he also has his bow staff that he hits people with. He's got his poker face. That's pretty awesome. He's a card shark, sleight of hand. Okay, so he's got some cool things here going on. I think if I remember, he's from the Bayou, which is kind of cool. This is Gambit. Let's see what else you got here. Oh, he's a highly complexible character. Check this guy out. He's a 6. That might be intimidating, if anything. Molecular acceleration, dissolution, disruption, and he has his ace cards. So he's probably going to have a pack of, yep, he's got a whole set of cards. That's awesome, because like I said, he usually powers these up and throws them and that's how he actually does a lot of his attacks and things. That's super cool. He might be a winner. I might have to give this guy a shot too. He seems pretty neat. All right, but like I said, 6 complexity, so it's going to be a little bit of learning curve on him. We'll put him back, and we'll move on to the last character, which is Jean Grey. Jean Grey is our last character, who has also been the Phoenix at certain times. Let's see what Jean Grey looks like. We'll open up her little character card here and see what it shows. We have one true Phoenix. Yep, here's the Phoenix right here. When Jean Grey is active, draw a card at the beginning of the main phase. When you activate an offensive ability, your dice show 3 of a kind. Okay, draw 1. All right. We have Call the Phoenix. Jean Grey must be active for your first turn. For all subsequent turns during the upkeep phase, you must switch between Jean Grey, and the Dark Phoenix being active. You can choose? Well, that's kind of cool. All right, so she has some cool powers here. Again, cool. I love the art on this is actually pretty cool. I like some more than the others. This one's pretty awesome. Oh, here's the Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix art's pretty sweet too. There it is. 6 complexity character. I saw that coming, considering you're 2 characters in one here. We got Force Field, Acuity, Flame Blast, Phoenix Burst, Dark Phoenix. I'm going to guess that some of these are probably only used during Dark Phoenix, where some of them are only used during being Jean Grey. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, haven't played the character, don't know exactly. But has combat points, health points, and then here are her dice, all these cool red Phoenix looking dice. All right. So that is all the characters that we had when it came to the Marvel Dice Throne system. So again, these are the characters that you can play, and you can play these competitively, or you can play them cooperatively when you play inside of the Dice Throne missions, Marvel missions, which we're going to take a look at next. Before we look at the Dice Throne missions, I did want to take a look at some of the card sleeves. So here's Gambits. This is Psylocke. We have Iceman's card sleeves. These are kind of cool. I really like the art on these. This is Storm. We've got Wolverine, then we've got Rogue, and we've got the Phoenix, and we've got Cyclops. Cyclops, this is pretty cool. So is this one too. Oh my gosh, they're all really neat. And I lied again. I'm going to take a look at Deadpool really quick before we take a look at the missions. Since this is yet again another character that you can play as, I thought I would show this off first. We have Deadpool. He's probably going to break the fourth wall all over the place. We'll see how that goes. We have 2 different standees. We have Slam Smack and Bang Yow. We've got a bunch of donuts. We've got a coin. Here is the character, which is pretty sweet. He is going to have his character board. Let's see how it goes. Donut hole. He's got Fiesta, taco truck. Oh my gosh, fourth wall. Here's the fourth wall right here. This character is known to break it in all of his comics and things of that nature. We have finger guns. That's pretty awesome. So he does have mutant healing. He actually has a healing factor similar to the Wolverines, from what I understand. He has a complexity of 3, which isn't too bad. There are rule clarifications there. He has the abilities for Donut, Onomatopoeia, and RPS. All right. Rock, paper, scissors for fun and be. No way. You play rock, paper, scissors? The player with this token must spend it and when attacking or being attacked. Once spent, choose the opponent to play rock, paper, scissors against. If you win, gain the benefits below. If you tie, play again. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. You can only spend it once. Pew, 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 knife, joke, mask. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So good. Now this is kind of a deluxe box. As you can see, it already comes with the acrylic tokens for this character for each of the different abilities. He does have his own combat pool point die, and he's got his own tracker. He's got his character dice here, and on top of that, this box in theory should come with a miniature, I think, as well. Inactive, active. Okay, I'll have to, that must be part of his powers that he has. He has his own power set here. Underneath here, okay, we have oh, his card sleeves. That's cool. Oh, and his coin. We have a coin for him. And it's a metal coin, if I can get it out. That's pretty awesome. We have a neat little metal coin. And then here's the miniatures. They did make a set of miniatures for all of the Marvel X-Men and, well, that one broke. Marvel X-Men and the ones for the original Marvel Dice Throne and the X-Men one. It didn't break, it just blew right back in. Not a big deal. Whoosh, like that. All right, yeah, this goes, there you go. So there is the miniature. Goes right back in. So yeah, it's supposed to do that. Well, it's not supposed to, but that's okay. He looks pretty awesome. All right, we're going to stick him back in there. Hopefully he doesn't go absolutely berserk on me later. It is Deadpool after all. All right, let's take a look at these cards because these look pretty cool. Just like the previous ones, it comes with a turn order card. And here is all of his cards. What's this one? This one's special. Now with more pew pew. Okay. But all the rest are just normal cards, except for this one, a Mythic card. It comes with a Mythic card. I am Mythic. Rules. During setup, place this in your play area with the active side up. While this card is on active side, the active ability remains in effect. If the card is active, you may perform the flip ability. After performing the flip ability, flip the card to the side to mark that is inactive. Active. Ability, gain these, when you spend donuts, gain 1 additional health. All right, flip ability. Flip your shoot card to its active side, then gain RSP and 2 donuts. How unimaginative. Okay, so I've got a Mythic card. Now, there are other Mythic cards for the other characters. They're in this right here, and we'll take a look at them pretty soon. Actually, I'm taking a look at them very soon because I didn't realize that was going to be in here. The sound of ukulele, boom. Wow. He who smelt it. Oh my gosh. Buffet. Finger gun reload. Chimichanga. Oh, this guy's gonna be super fun. Merc with a mouth, DOS. Oh, they're all DOS cards. All right, that's pretty awesome. 6-hit, better D, helping hand, same Z's. Now these are more, like I said, they're universally type cards. It's the blue ones that I think are really ones for the characters that we're playing. Like these up here are the ones more for Deadpool itself, where these are going to be more of these universal type cards that you're going to be able to see. All right. That's it. Now with more pew pew. All right, putting him back. That is Deadpool. Like I said, quick look at this is now. When it comes, this is pretty much like an all-in type character. When you get your characters with all the different things put together, including the miniatures and things like that, they're all going to kind of eventually look like this. Now, there isn't a spot in the other things for the miniatures, I don't think. I'd have to check that out. I don't think they're going to fit in here, but Deadpool's are all going to fit together in here. He's got his little card. We don't really need it because we have everything in there. Oh, we forgot to put this on. Put this on first. There we go. Put that there. There we go. Okay. That is Deadpool. That was pretty awesome. I'm excited now to play that guy. That guy's pretty sweet. I'm quickly going to show the promo pack because it did have some of the Mythic cards in it. It also has 8 randomizers and hero promo cards. So here's a promo card for, it looks like Cyclops, Gambit, one for Iceman. Here's one for the Jean Grey. We have Psylocke, Wind Up, roll 1, gain on a symbol, gain 1 comment point and 2 iconic energy. That's pretty awesome. And on the other, I get to draw a card. Cost me 0. These are all pretty good cards. Feral. Now here's the random. They're going to be the randomizer cards. So if you didn't know who you wanted to play as, you could shuffle these all up and choose randomly who you wanted to play as, which is the one we saw in the Deadpool thing that said now with more pew pew. They're all just art again of all the characters, which is pretty cool. All right, we'll put those aside. And then here's the Mythic cards. Again, I think they're very similar to those. We're going to flip abilities and things like that. So every one of these has a Mythic ability card, which are all these neat little shiny cards. It's not my camera going nuts. They're actually got that shine to them. We have Gambit, Iceman, the Dark Phoenix. We have Psylocke, Rogue, Storm, and Wolverine. A lot of these seem to have things where you're going to be able to gain a lot of certain things. Steal 4 health from a chosen opponent. That's pretty awesome. Once per turn, you may reroll a Skyward die without paying combat pool. We have Gambit's active when you spend Disillusion. Change your outcome of all dice rolled during your high stakes to 6. Wow, that sounds really good. And Cyclops, flip ability. Gain 4 battle plan and 3 support. Choose an opponent to gain 2 focus fires. You basically get all your tokens. During your upkeep phase, gain a support. So these are just are a way to upgrade your character as we play through. All right, that was pretty cool. We're done with those. Let's move on. There's just so much cool things. We do have a dice shaker thing. I can't believe I didn't know. I couldn't bring up the word dice tray. All right, we have our dice throwing dice tray here. I'm not going to take it out. You can see kind of what it is. The other thing we have now is going to be our missions box. Here's the missions box. This is kind of the co-op version of the game where you can play together. If you're interested in playing just the competitive version, it takes about 30 minutes to play a game of it, where this would take anywhere from 30 minutes to maybe about an hour and a half or more, depending on player count and also depending on what exact mission you have done. Here's some standees for the game, and it does come with a rule book for the game. There is a learn to play that you can learn to play in less than 10 minutes. Next we have our tokens, but of course we'll be using our acrylic tokens that we got during the pledge manager, or through the all-in pledge I should say. But here are all the different tokens that we're going to be seeing while we play through Dice Throne Adventures. We have our different barbed wire cards, bleeding tokens, blind tokens, burn tokens. We have chaos tokens. It'd be interesting to see who uses those, maybe like Scarlet Witch or something. The next ones are our bonus damage tokens are over here. We have confusion tokens. We also have disruption tokens, dominance tokens. We have these are going to be entangle tokens. We have evasion, we have flight, we have focus fire. There's so many cool tokens here. We've got the different types of poison down here, paralyzed tokens. This is the knockdown token. Now, of course, these are double-sided. So on the back, there may be a different token. Nope, it looks like they are the same on both sides. That's fantastic. Sometimes when they do double-sided tokens, I wish they'd just print out what on the other side, I wish they'd show me what that thing did, or name it. That make things a little bit easier. We also have these are going to be all of the different, health tokens for when you're using against the enemies. These are going to be our shield tokens. We have silence tokens, which are right here. We also have our, we have these. These are the plot tokens, which are going to be used during the game. We have wither tokens right here. There are so many different tokens. It's out of control. We have dominance tokens right here, which is kind of like you're being a puppet. That's kind of cool. You're being used like a puppet master. That's kind of neat. I like that. I think that's kind of funny. Then we have, these are just hex tokens right here. And that's really about all the tokens we have. Oh, oppression tokens right down here. That's what these are. So those are all the different tokens. And of course, they are dual-sided, but they're the same on both sides. This is sweetness. This is pure sweetness. This is what is called our player perk sheet. This is going to bring the game to you in so many cool ways. You can just keep on replaying it to be able to power your characters up and make the game more difficult. I'm going to talk a little bit about this. This is super cool. So whenever you complete a mission, you're going to have a different difficulty level. Of course, you might want to start on the level 1s. As you defeat the level 1 difficulty missions, you're going to be able to gain perk points, which you can put down. If you're able to complete the first side of the mission, you're going to get 1. Complete the second side, you're going to get 2. If you are able to perfect the mission, because each mission is going to have a way to perfect the mission. If you're able to do that, you get 3 perk points. And then depending on what level difficulty the mission was, you get to cross off some of these, and then that is going to give you special perks going into your next play of that character. So for example, or for yourself, for example, if I got 3 perk points here, I could spend 2 here and 1 here, giving myself an increase of +1 health when I start the game, and I get +1 momentum. So now maybe I might want to try level 2 with those perks given to me. Now the interesting thing is, as you completely go through this and start getting some of these, if you're able to perfect all 6 of the different difficulties, or 5 difficulties if I can count, 5 difficulties, you're not only going to be able to complete this, get this perfectness, but you get to add this new game plus. So you can start a new sheet with your name, and you can give yourself a little plus next to it. Also, if you are able to perfect every one of these type of missions, you're going to get those mythic cards. Remember those mythic cards we saw? That's how you get them. They're going to be so cool to use. All right, and there's different types of things. So you could concentrate on this leadership all the way around, or if you get the momentum cards, no, some of these are going to stack. Some are just going to replace other things. For example, momentum cards, like I was saying, you're able to, you're just going to gain the better card as you go forward in this. But some of these, I believe these stack. So you get 1, 2, 3, then 4, and so on and so forth as you go through. These are going to give you different leadership tokens, different heroism tokens, and different feats that you can use. And on the back side, I believe it tracks, I'm just going to take one of these off, it's going to track the different missions you have done. So for example, Ox, Nox, and Morlock Massacre, these are the way you can check which ones you were able to complete and perfect. And you can mark those off here so that you can remember which ones you've played and which ones you weren't able to completely able to perfect, I guess you could say. So these are your starting difficulty missions you should try, these are your second difficulty, 3, 4, and 5. Now, the game does recommend that you play the dice thrown version of the game at least a couple times so you understand how characters act and how they work in the game before you try some of this, but that's just a suggestion. If you want to jump right in, I think you could do Doc Ox and Morlock's Massacre, and I think you'd have a great time giving it a shot. Let me know which one you might be interested in seeing, and again, I'll create a poll for people to vote on for that one as well. I want to kind of stick in this area though. Don't pick something like Demon Disaster or Hulk's Legacy or the Mind Stone. I'm not going to be able to do those right away. I'm going to get murdered. So unless you want to see me get murdered, then you can pick one of those. But I'm hoping you're nice enough to let me try one of these down here. Tell me which ones you might be interested in. I know you don't know what these are yet because they're going to be inside this box, and we're going to continue unboxing to find them. We do have a storage solution for all the tokens that we have, and here are the different missions. There are a ton of them, an absolute ton of them, and of course dials flying all over the place. We have the crisis clock in there, a whole bunch of stuff. So let's quickly just take this off. Here are the different missions. I'm going to move this aside for just a second so we can take a look. This is Scarlet Witch's mission. If you're going to take on her, it folds out into it kind of folds out here. Let's see if we can get this to fold out. There we go. This is your mission you're going to do. This is the first part of it. It tells you how to set it up. It tells you how to run it. This is what's called it's the clock down here. It is going to affect what can happen to you. So when it's pointing at different things, you either discard a card, it will activate these Dread Champions. It will activate the Ancient Horror. So it's going to do a lot of different things. That clock is going to continuously move as the game goes on. Here's your bonus objectives, the tips on how to hopefully get through this if you're lucky enough. The main objective And here's your perfect reward. If your team completes the main objective, defeats all enemies, and no demon picked up an artifact, distribute an additional 7 health. So you're going to get that 7 health plus you perfected that mission. Then once you're done, you're going to flip to the backside and you're going to take on Scarlet Witch. And she has her own set of dice and everything and all the different things she's going to do to you. You're going to fight her in this area again. It has the clock and it tells you all the different things you're going to see in one of the missions. Now this is a level 5 mission, so we're not going to be seeing this one. Please don't pick this one. That's the Demon Disaster. We have Scar. This is the Hulk one, I'm sure. These are all kind of stuck together a little bit here. This is the Hulk Legacy one. I'm going to just, I can show you a little bit of the maps and a little kind of so you can see what they look like. Here's Scar, you're going to fight him. This is going to be what it's like on the outside. You have Shock Troops, Gladiators, and Royal Guards. Here's Hulk. This is called Hulk Legacy. It is also level 5, so I'm guessing they put the harder ones on top, because next we have Ultron. Ultron is going to be a level 4, so it's not level 5. Here's the end phase when you have to fight Ultron. Be a nice one to try with Iron Man. I think it'd be kind of cool. All right, there's that one. And then we have Kingpin. That's kind of cool. We can fight against Kingpin here. Kingpin is going to have Magia. Okay, let's open him up a little bit here. Oh my gosh, I don't like the way it's like, feels like it's ripping. Here's the actual mission board, and then you fight Kingpin on the other side. They all are going to have their own things they do as they go through it, and of course you have different objectives that you're going to be fighting. Here's MODOK. MODOK is in the game. That's pretty awesome. Let's see what he has going on here. He is a level 4, so we can't really start taking him out right away. You have to get probably some power-ups in order to take him out. Looks like he's got his AIM soldiers there ready to take you on, so you got to take those guys on. We have Green Goblin. Green Goblin is, I have Morris Morales. We could play as a Spider-Man against this guy. If I can open it up. Let's see if I can get my finger under there. There we go. Here's the mission. Again, just showing you really quickly what they are. Here's the Green Goblin's different board here. We have Thanos. What level is he? He's only 3. Well, that's not too bad. Thanos. Thanos is going to be, has to be like a level 5. There's no reason he would not be a level 5. So we only got Magneto too. Yep, he's level 5. The Mind Stone. That's why, okay, it's the Mind Stone one. That makes sense. There he is. He's going to probably destroy you. Here he is right here, Ebony Maw. Oh, wow, that's kind of cool. So really? So you take on Ebony Maw and then you take on Thanos, and that's the mission? Well, that's kind of interesting. All right, then you got Magneto. What's Magneto? Level 3. All right, we have to take on him. I wonder if he's got his henchmen or his like brotherhood with him. Let's see what we got inside here. There's Magneto right there. Then let's see what's on the backside. Has he got his brotherhood? He got soldiers, gunners, and Toad. Toad's the only one? Oh, come on. You should have more people to fight than Toad, but that's okay. We'll put this one aside. We'll move on to Mystique. Maybe Mystique has the rest of them. Let's see what she's got. Here she is, right there in the middle, waiting for us. And here's her side. She's the Captain, Riot Control, Snipers, Troopers. It's a level 2 mission. This is one of the level 2 missions. This is Mystique. The humans will never accept us. We must scare them into submission. Oh, Sebastian Shaw. This guy's got to be a pretty powerful one. But this is a harder mission. Let's see here. Oh, it's only level 2. All right, that's not too bad. Here's Sebastian Shaw. Let's see if he's got his group with him. The strike team, the Hellfire Club. He does have the Hellfire Club with him. The Sniper and Cult Thugs. All right, there you go. Some cool things. I'm just excited to look at all these. This is kind of cool. Master Mold. Oh, this would be super cool to play at the X-Men. Maybe this is like a level 2 one. Nope, level 3. All right, but here's Master Mold, and look at, he's back here. It's almost like fighting him in like an arcade game where you're going to be up here and like you see Master Mold coming onto the game. Oh, that's kind of cool. All right, let's look at the backside. You're going to be fighting, of course, Sentinels, I'm pretty sure. Yep, there's all the different Sentinels we're going to fight. We have Claw next. Claw has his own board that you're going to fight on, and then of course he's right here. I'm going to guess this is a level 2. All right, getting down there. Onslaught. Oh, I'll bet this is a level 5. All right, let's see. He's level 4. I figured something like that. Onslaught's super powerful. I don't see how you could just take him down. All right, there's Onslaught. Flip him over here. He's got his guys helping him out here. We've got Sauron. Sauron's probably like a level 2 or something. Yep, level 2 for Sauron. He's in the Forgotten Land, I think is what it was. I'm drawing a blank on it. There he is. Here's Sauron's Hunger. He's got, yep, okay. I think if I remember right, this is like, he's a mutant. If I remember right, he's a normal person, but then once he like feeds on something, then he turns into Sauron. Here's Mordu. All right, number 5, Mordu. Let's leave him open if we can. Oh, some of these are just so stuck together. It's ridiculous. I'm just surprised nothing's ripping. You can turn him into Domomaru. All right, Domomaru. Okay, I totally said that wrong. I apologize. All right, there he is, Mysterio. Mysterio, open him up. He is a level 3. He'd be kind of cool to fight with Spider-Man as well. There he is. He's got his people. The president. He's kind of probably took them all under control or made them see things, I guess you could say. Doc Ock is a level 1. He's one of the first ones you're supposed to play as. When you originally set the game up, this is the first person they tell you you're supposed to play as and the first mission you should go on. Now, one thing I didn't talk about is kind of how this works. So from what I understand, you enter the entry point and you can move anywhere you want when you move for the first time, but you can't move into these darker squares until you kind of make a path through it for like eliminating this or picking this up. These, I think, are where boost tokens are going to go, which can help you as well through the game. And so you're going to move in here, do some of your attacks. Now, your attacks are all adjacent unless I believe you use momentum, and some of your attacks may then gain range that you can attack with, because normally the game doesn't have range on your characters because you're just fighting back and forth. So they added a range concept to the game. So that's a quick idea of how it works. And again, if you want to see it in action, check out Dani's channel or Canje Studios. And again, I'll put the links in the description of the video. This is Super Skrull. He's a 3. Here's Mr. Sinister. This could be a pretty cool one to play. Oh, it's a level 1. Oh, boy, this one's really fun. I should try this one. If I remember right, I think this is the one that Dani did. So if you're interested in seeing this one, check it out. Dani, I think, did this one, and Derek did the Doc Ock one. So those are the 2 different ones that they did against the Morlocks. Oh, we got Hela. Hela's a level 4. Hela's right here. We actually take Thor onto this one. Try to take her out. There we go. That's this. All right. Those are all the different missions that we have available to us. There's a lot of missions. Look at that. Again, replay value out the wazoo. So not only do you get all these missions, you also get the ability to replay them with those perk points. Now let's slide this back down and look at the rest that's in here. Okay, let's do it right there. Let's turn it this way so you can see some of the cards. Okay, these are going to be awesome. Here's the crisis clock. This is the crisis clock. So like I said, you're going to put that in the middle and you're just going to kind of turn this around. And then depending on what it's pointing at, it's going to adjust what happens during that turn. Everybody's going to get a momentum die. This is a new dial. This is a new resource that you're going to use. Most of the time, the momentum dial is used to purchase allies that are going to be found inside this deck. Here are some standees and some different tokens for the game. We have our own dice for the enemies. The enemies do have their own dice. And we have tokens for them as well. And then in here, we also have the first player token. The first set of tiles I have here are boost tiles. These are going to gain you special little bonuses. For example, heal 3, you gain combat points. You can, I think, +3 to your damage. These are different ones that are going to be out on the board that you can get a hold of. The next set of tiles we have are clear or defeat tiles. That's what these are. I think when you defeat an enemy, you're going to place these down so that you know that you have defeated that enemy, and then you can get through. Remember, I told you you can't walk through the darker areas until you defeat them. So here's those defeat tiles. We do have a boss health dial, which is we're going to have to deal with. You have to take the boss down to 0. Most of the ending is going to be done with that boss dial. You're going to have to bring it down to its final 0 in order to defeat them. We do have some generic Mythic cards. Remember, we got the Mythic pack with our characters as well. So we have, these are generic ones that you can gain. The Crimson Gem. Oh, this is the thing that made Juggernaut. That's awesome. Power Cosmic, Phoenix Force, or the Symbiote. That's pretty awesome. So those are the Mythic cards, the generic ones that this game comes with. Next, we have our Allies card. These are the ones that you can buy with momentum, and of course has a round turn phase for you, and the mission setup. So both of these are in here. These are the different momentum cards you can gain as you go through the game. Up to momentum 1 is the first one. You can recruit an ally with momentum, gain range. You can use momentum to gain range. Now, as you get more powerful, you can start doing different things with your momentum based on how far you've gotten in your perk points. Here are all the different ally cards the games come with. You can buy these for the the momentum value that's up here. So to get Squirrel Girl, it's going to cost you 1, and then once per round during your main phase, you can spend 3 perk points. All heroes gain a bonus damage. Choose a face-up boost tile anywhere on the map, pick it up, and gain its reward. Exhaust. All heroes gain bonus damage +2 instead. All right, so there's that one. We have Beast, Blade, Cable, Domino, Dagger. Oh, these are getting good. Havoc, Wong, Wasp. We have War Machine. This is my son's favorite Marvel character of all time is War Machine. He loves War Machine, so it's awesome he's in here. Jubilee, that's cool. She-Hulk, Hulk, Cloak, Hawkeye, Jeff, Colossus, Black Bolt, Archangel, Magic, Iron Man, Vision, Mantis, Leech, and Nick Fury, the man himself. That's awesome. So those are the different, those are the allies that this game comes with. Now, lucky for us, since we did do the all-in pledge and give us everything, including all stretch goals and everything, we have some other ally cards as well that we can add to the game. So let's quickly take a look at these right here. We have 6 new ones. We have Professor X. We get Kitty Pryde. Oh, that's pretty awesome. Kitty Pryde's here. We have Captain America, Ant-Man, Emma Frost on your side, not with the, not with the, was it the, oh, who is it, with Shaw. And then we have Nightcrawler. So these are the added ones from the upgrades that we, or from the stretch goals and the all-in pledge. Here we have some of the card sleeves that we can use for those. So all my game can be completely sleeved thanks to this. And now the final thing that I think everybody's been waiting for is these awesome sculpts. And these are going to be fully painted Marvel sculpts. I don't have to paint these. I do have an ability to paint miniatures. I do that every once in a while. Here are the sculpts for our characters. These are from the original Marvel Dice Throne. We've got Thor, we got Scarlet Witch. Here's the Scarlet Witch figure right here. She's kind of sitting on a cloud of chaos. We have the Black Panther. Now these are all going to be used in the different, on the missions game right here. Here's Captain Marvel, which is sweet. Oh, that's what I should do. I should have Captain Marvel and Rogue be together. Here's Doctor Strange. He looks pretty awesome. That's pretty neat. So here, these are the ones from the original it's Marvel Dice Throne. Let's take a look at the X-Men one now. I'm interested to see what they did with Jean Grey. If it's going to be Jean Grey or the Dark Phoenix or both. We'll see how it goes here. Okay, so it's still going to be awesome. Oh, look at this one. She's standing on a Sentinel. Oh my gosh, this is super cool. Standing right on top of a Sentinel. That's pretty awesome. All right, that's Psylocke. We have Wolverine. Here's Storm. Storm looks really neat with the swirling lightning all around here. That's pretty awesome. Iceman, he's just blue. That's pretty sweet. Gambit with his bow staff. This is pretty funny that this is Rogue. I used to play a lot of HeroClix, and whenever Rogue came out as a HeroClix, a lot of times this is what her pose was. So it's very interesting that's the same type of pose. We have Cyclops right here firing away, and then we have Jean Grey with the fire coming out, so kind of turning into the Dark Phoenix. That's pretty cool. All right, and those are the miniatures for the game that we, of course, will be using as we play through it. If you do not have them, these games did come with the standees that you can use that are inside the actual Dice Throne box. So there you have it. That is the Dice Throne Missions game with the X-Men Dice Throne game along with it. And of course, everything else that came with the all-in pledge. I hope you enjoyed the unboxing. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell symbol so you know when Dice Throne, the Missions playthrough comes out. If you're interested in what characters I should play, please leave those in the description of the video or you're in the comment section. I apologize. Also, if you're interested in telling me what mission I should do, put that in the comment section as well. I'll see if I can get to that one and see if I can do it. Now, if you're interested in supporting the channel, please feel free to check out the link to the Patreon. That, of course, is in the description of this video. They're the ones that are going to usually help us decide who we play with and what missions and how to power up our characters through the game. They are the ones that are helping us. I usually do a poll to help them decide on how we do that. We get a vote. That way they get a chance at being able to decide how the game is played and who plays in it. On top of that, they do get to watch my and Colin's playthroughs usually about a day or two ahead of time. And those that have joined the Patreon are here shown on the screen. Thank you so much for your patronage. It means the world to me. So this is Dice Throne Missions with all those cool characters from the X-Men, some cool components. There are so many missions. Look at all these missions. And I love this thing where we can track how well we do in the game and give ourselves some perk points that we can level up our characters. It's a kind of cool way to level them up without having to actually deal with the characters themselves and adjust what they are like in their own box. So there you have it. That is Dice Throne Missions. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're excited to see Dice Throne Missions or anything else that Colin and I have coming up, then I need you to meet me at the table.